Hey everyone, it's me, Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie, and I wanted to do a live video today with the February paper pumpkin, which is called Lovely Day. Hopefully I didn't flip that too fast. Now, here's the funny part. I did a video the other day in my group and I was going to share it, but Facebook has changed the way you can download your videos and now it won't let me download it. So I am having like the worst time trying to get this video ready for you all. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go live again. So what's in this box is not everything that you will get because I have used most everything in my box already. But I have all the basics in here to show you. So when you open your box, it has this little flyer on the top and it shows these are some, this is one of the cards that you make the way, you know, with their directions. And then these three are alternates. Then you're going to get a Stampin' Spot, which is Rococo Rose. You're going to get dimensionals. You are going to get the stamp sets. As you can see, a lot of my stamps are not on here right now. I'm going to put that like that so you can see what the stamps are. You've got some sentiments, your great reason to, and then you have celebrate, wishes, congratulations, lovely, and birthday. Then you have the big beautiful flower, the small stems, the piece of cake, and then here the icing or actually the cake layers. So you could do like yellow cake, chocolate cake, or you know, whatever you wanted to do. I'm gonna set those aside. Then you get a sheet of these fantastic, they're thick foam, they're a little bit thicker, I think, than a dimensional. And you get lovely, celebrate, and wishes. And these are what I have left after I did my other projects the other day. So we're just going to use what I have left for the cards today. You get some glue dots. You get some fantastic little sequins. You get, I want to say three sheets of these. You get 3 of these and 3 of these because this kit makes 9 cards. You will get 2 sheets of these lovely banners that have this rose gold foil. You would get 3 of this card base, which is a folding card base, and that'll probably be the first one I do. You get 3 of the pretty peacock, 3 of the rich razzleberry, and you get 3 of each of these envelopes. Aren't these envelopes fantastic? I love these envelopes. I just absolutely love an envelope with a design on the inside. I think it just adds a little bit to the card that you're sending. And then of course you get the instructions, if I can pull them out of the box. So let me get everything out here and then we will get started. I was gonna try this with an OBS program that I'm trying to figure out. I had everything set, or I thought I had everything set, and then I had to unplug my phone to move it because I wanted the camera up higher. And as soon as I did that, everything like messed up. So I reset everything again, got everything ready, and the same thing happened. So I'm like, okay, I'm done with this for today. I'm gonna go over to my friend's house tomorrow and have her son help me figure out what I'm not doing right. Because every time I go to do the Facebook Live, it won't let me click it. So something in my settings, I'm sure, is awry, and I just don't know what it is. So the first card we are going to do is this card. It says, your great reason to celebrate. I guess I can just set this right here. I think you can still see that. So you get this card base, and it's got that petal pink right here, and then that Rococo Rose for the little X's that are on there, and then this Rococo Rose for this stripe. Now when I made it, I just put the card together like this, and then you can see it's just kind of lays open like that, but just give it a good crease and it's gonna pretty much lay much flatter. All right, so once you have that set, then you are going to want to grab that first sheet of punch outs that I show you, and you want to punch out this beautiful flower in that rich razzleberry color. I think is fantastic. And then we will grab the sheet of banners. Now what I like to do is I like to leave them on their sheet and then I stamp them and then take them apart, punch out the one that I want, because that way it just stays still for you. Now I'm not going to use this Stampin' Spot because I'm going to give that away to someone as a little freebie. And I'm going to open up my Rococo Rose here, and we're going to stamp You're a Great Reason To on that long banner. Let me grab my fantastic little stamp cleaner, my chamois, and this is a half a one, and this is in one of the half wide cases. So you can buy a whole one and then just cut it in half if you want, put it in the half wide case, or if you want to use one of the regular cases and put a whole one in there, you can do that too. I just like to use a half, and then I can set two on the table, makes it much easier. So you have two, especially if there's more than one of you sitting at the table for cleaning stamps. So then just punch out your little sentiment there. And then we are going to need one of these Celebrates. So we'll get that ready. We've got our flower. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back of that, but since I already have some opened and partially used, we're just going to use these ones. And what I do is, because I don't want any dimensionals on this side of my flower, I'm just going to lay my flower here for just a second and then kind of go, okay, if I put one here, that's going to cover my flower right there. And then probably two more, probably one toward the bottom, like right here, and then one over here to the side. And so just so you know kind of about where you would want them. And actually, I might actually put one right there just so it's a little bit closer to that edge. And I know they're kind of offset or whatever. That doesn't really matter, because once you get them stuck on there, no one's gonna know. All right, so just take those adhesive backings off. And now if you wanted to, you could always take a sponge and sponge around the edges of your flower to give it that little distressed look. I think these flowers are just perfect just like this, but I think they would be really pretty distressed as well. I just didn't do that with this. Let's get our flower on there. So we've got our flower on there. We are going to do the same thing for this. We are going to add, because we want it to kind of go under that just a little bit, not too much. And we're going to use 3 dimensionals. Now I will put one right on the end of this. And then I'm just going to set this here so I know exactly about where I want to put these two. And now I know, once I get these backings off, all you have to do is just slide this kind of, you'll slide your little banner underneath that flower just a little bit. When you pop on and join me, let me know you're here so I can say hi. It's always good to know who's on here watching and see who's enjoying their day, see what y'all are doing. All right, get that on there. And then basically you're just going to take the backing off. And now I realize I just missed a whole step, but we're going to fix that. We can do that anyway. And then we're going to add Celebrate on there. Now the only thing I forgot to do was stamp this little flower. It was supposed to be coming from underneath this flower, but I'm just going to add it right here to the left. And we'll do that in that same Rococo ink. Rococo Rose. And we'll just stamp it right there onto the card. And that still looks cute with it off to the side like that. Sometimes if you do something a little different, you can always change it up. Now, for these super tiny little glue dots, you just want to take your pick tool, scoop up a couple of these, because we're just going to add a couple of sequins on here. Probably 3. We'll do 3. And then just take those little backings off. I know you can't see, but there is a little tiny glue dot left there. And this take your pick tool, I'm telling you, is one of the best things. So then dump out some of your sequins, and I'm actually going to dump them all out and just leave them here because we're going to be using them for the other cards anyway. You're just going to take this tip off, and you have that little sticky tip. You're just going to use that to pick up your sequins and then place them down where you want them. There were a couple of sequins there stuck together, so I had 2. I got one for each side, so perfect. But this is a magic tool for doing that. And then once this end becomes no longer sticky, you just peel that off. You just twist it a little bit, and a little bit more will come out. If you twist it too far, you're gonna get like a long string of it. I've done that before. It's not a huge deal. You can still use it. It's just you have a long string of it hanging out. That's all. All right, so there is card number 1. I'm gonna set that off to the side until we're ready to show them all together. And the second card we'll do is that pretty peacock card with that pool party overlay. Let me grab the card base here. Get that card base folded, give it a good crease. Now for this one, this is going to be brought up with dimensionals. So it's going to have dimensionals. Now you're also going to need, as soon as I find it again, it's in my pile here, this cake. And now when they did their cake, they obviously did it with the Rococo Rose as the cake layer, so it kind of looks like a little strawberry cake, I guess. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get those cake layers, and I am just going to ink them up and then add those cake layers onto the piece of cake. I hear my husband's coming in, so I'm just going to make sure he knows. Hey baby, I'm live, just so you know. So once you get those cake layers on there, then you're just going to grab those banners again. See, look at, I'm losing everything again. All right, I've got my banners, and we're going to stamp birthday for this banner. And it's just going to be this banner here, the one that has the 2 banner ends on it. Kind of got that down a little low. Let's do another one. It's a good thing I have extras because I didn't quite get that in the center. And I still didn't get it in the center. I guess I'm just seeing crooked today. I don't know. All right, so we'll just use that one. This is the one we're going to use. It's better than the first one. Then we want to add a couple of sequins to this as well. Right onto that cake, actually. Just maybe add one on the icing. We'll add one here. And then we'll just add one down here. I think that'll be cute. And I love that these sequins are in different sizes, so there are some super tiny ones. I mean, look how tiny that is. Now this one's upside down, so I gotta kind of flip it over. But it's not a huge deal to flip them over if you pick them up and they're not facing the direction that you want them. I think every one I've just picked up is facing the wrong direction. And I feel like I have 2 stuck together here, but I guess it's just one, I don't know. Let me pull that one off. There's a little tip or something on that one, a little piece. And it wasn't laying flat. That's why I thought there were 2 of them. There we go. All right, so once you have those on there, you're just going to adhere this down to the card. And I'm just going to use a little bit of snail adhesive to stick that down. And I want to make sure it's going to be where I want this to be. So I'm going to lay this, hold it together like that and then lay this down. And now I know when I put my dimensionals on this, I can get that centered. So I'm just going to add some dimensionals to this. Actually going to put one right there, just since it'll be a little bit heavier on that spot. So how many of you have this set? Anyone that's watching live, let me know. I truly appreciate it. Are you going to get the March set? I'm going to show a little preview for the March set. Well, I say a preview, it's just a flyer that I have because I don't even know exactly what's going to be in it. I'm going to get my computer out and pull up what the coordinating colors are just so you'll know what those coordinating colors will be. So once you get that on there, then you're going to have this birthday for the birthday wishes, and you're just going to want some snail on the left. You don't want it over here on the right because you don't want it to stick to that. So we've got birthday, we're going to add wishes. We already have our sequins on there because we did those first. And there is card number 2. And if you got this kit, you would have been able to make 3 of these or 2 of those and an alternative, or however you want to do it. So the third card takes this rich razzleberry base, and you just get a good fold in that. And then you have this beautiful, look at this like lacy eyelet piece here. It's awesome. So you're gonna have this, the large floral stamp. Basically that is going to fit stamp over that, and then you're gonna have the petal pink will be the background color for your flower. And let's turn it this way. And you've got that, looks like old olive for the leaves. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's kind of watercolory, so if you don't get it centered exactly, don't fret. It's still going to be gorgeous. Just get it as good as you can. And it will be just fine, I promise. So once you have that, I'm just going to lay it there for now, and we are going to get the word lovely. And we are going to grab these banners again. And now we're going to use this banner here. And this is like a one piece, but it has 2 banners on it. Now, I didn't realize this the other day when I made my first one, that you can just lay this here and then you can stamp birthday, and you can stamp have a for your have a lovely birthday. I need to clean this first just to make sure I don't get any of that ink that's on the block onto my little lovely piece there. So then you can just stamp birthday in because it's deep enough that you can do that while that is still there. And that way you get it perfectly placed. The other day I was trying to stamp it without placing that lovely on there first, and it was just like I couldn't get my have a in the correct place and my birthday in the correct place, and it was all wonky. So tip from me to you, lay that on there and then do your stamping. Then go ahead and peel this off. Just gonna stick that on there, and now they put it kind of over this flower just a little bit on this side. And so that's what I'm gonna do too. I'm gonna do it just like they did it. And now I believe they use dimensionals for the back of this. So let's get our dimensionals on there first. And since we have some longer pieces here, I'm just going to grab my snips. Whoops, that's not what I was trying to do. And I'm just going to snip some little pieces here. And then we can use those for the top, the bottom, and the sides. I can get it to peel off now. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can see that one's got a little tail on it. That's all right. It gives us plenty of dimensionals to hold this on there. Go ahead and get those peeled off. So does anyone have any fantastic plans for the rest of their day, or they're going to do anything fun tonight? I think we will probably just watch a movie tonight or something. We don't plan on going out and going anywhere. It has been a long week as usual. I mean, I'm sure everyone's has been. It's just one of those weeks, I think. Go ahead and let me know you're here. Give me some hearts, give me some love so I can see that you're on here. All right, so then just once you get that backing peeled off, just place your lovely on the front. And then same thing, we're gonna use those sequins again, and we're going to need obviously these little glue dots, which I'm telling you, the glue dots that come in the paper pumpkin, these super tiny ones, are fantastic. They are just like the perfect size for everything. They're not too big, they're not too little. We're going to do some extras. We're going to do about 5 little pieces on here. When I get done with this one, we're going to do at least 1 alternate card with the kit. And now what I love about this kit is that it is a kit that coordinates with a stamp set that is currently available, which is the Happy Birthday to You stamp set. And I'm going to show you that in just a minute. Use that sticky tip to get your little sequins if they're if you're catching them from the back, they're easy to flip over. That's another super tiny one. We'll put that one right there. Let's get a bigger one for over here. A medium-sized one for here. Gives it just enough. Now, what I did do yesterday, and I'm going to show you right now, is I used one of my Rich Razzleberry Stampin' Blends because I like these little buds to be colored in, and I know this flower is petal pink, but I'm going to color these little buds in with that Rich Razzleberry. I think it just gives it a little something extra to the card. Just a little bit of extra color that I like. And I thought made it look kind of cute. So, I mean, that's something you can do, and you can outline it more. You can do whatever you want with those darn blends. You can make it anything you want. All right, so let me show you these 3 cards that we just completed, and then we will start and make an alternate card. So those are the 3 cards that come in the kit. You get to do 9 of them total. So hopefully there will be some refills. Now, if you get the refills, it's going to have everything but the ink spot and the stamp set. If there are full kits available and you can purchase a full kit, then you would be able to get everything. All right, so let's set those 3 aside. And I'm going to pull out just a piece of Whisper White cardstock. Actually, this is Whisper White Thick. And we have some new paper that will be coming out on March 3rd. Let me pull it out here. I've already got some pieces out of it, but I'm just going to show you the whole pack. This is the Flowering Foil Specialty Designer Series paper. And this will be available as a free celebration item beginning March 3rd. So it's got 4 different patterns. You get the flowers that actually match this exactly. You get that crosshatch pattern. You get these silver flowers. You get these other floral. So you get 12 sheets. So what I wanted to do for this alternative card that I want to make is we're just going to get the paper trimmer out. And we are going to cut a piece of, I love that crosshatch. So this is in a rose gold foil, so it's kind of a cross between copper and champagne, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But let's just cut a little piece of this. Let's do 3.5 by 5. So we'll cut it 3.5, bring it back around to 5, and I can see that 5 up here at the top, so I'm going to do that at the top because it's easier for me to see it there. So we've got a 3.5 by 5 of that crosshatch pattern. And now let me show you what the champagne and the copper foil look like next to this, because like I said, this is rose gold foil, so it's just a little bit different than the copper and the champagne. So here's the copper, and now it is closer to the copper than it is to the champagne, and then here's the champagne, but it's kind of a mix of the 2 of those together. I think it's just really pretty. It has more of that pink tint that the champagne has, but a little bit of that copper as well. So you could actually pair either of these with that super easy, and it would look great. It wouldn't, wouldn't matter which one you paired with it. So we've got that piece, got this piece, and let's do that just a little bit shorter. Let's do 4 3/4 because I kind of want it to look even all the way around. So I need to take just a little bit off from that. I had it at 5, and so we'll cut off just a little tiny strip to make it 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then I cut out from this paper that has the gorgeous flowers on it, if I can get it over here. I fussy cut some flowers out of this because this is what I wanted to do is with it as an alternative. And now we have extra banners. So we're going to use some of those banners as well. And we do have one extra Celebrate, so maybe we'll use that for something too. I kind of think this would be a really pretty wedding card. and I'm debating if I want to add any color to it. So if you are on here and you think I should add some color to it, say yes. Let me see if I have what I have in my blends. I think petal pink would be really pretty. Maybe I could color these flowers with petal pink, and I think that's what I'll do. I'm gonna go ahead and color these with some petal pink. And what I'll do is I'll do a little bit darker just around some of the edges of the petals. And if you haven't seen these blends, these are amazing for coloring in and blending. When you're trying to do any kind of blending, these are absolutely fantastic. So this is the dark petal pink that I'm using right now. And then I'm going to blend using the light petal pink. And now, of course, it doesn't color over that foil, so you don't have to worry about if you wanted to use a darker color that the foil would get colored. You can literally go right over it and it's not going to matter. So now when you do this after you've got your dark petal pink and then you go over it with your light petal pink, that light petal pink will draw some of that dark petal pink into it and just kind of blend them together. Now, you could also use a totally different shade. So if I were to put some rich raspberry or something else in there, it would blend the petal pink with the rich raspberry as well. But I just want to kind of go for a light color here. And then I think we'll take that dark again, and we'll do these little buds in the dark petal pink. And now, because I did fussy cut around them and I did go pretty thin with those stems, I gotta be careful I don't rip them when I'm coloring them. And we've got a couple of buds here. And I know the leaves are outlined with that silver foil, but obviously I don't think I want to make my leaves gray, but I think I will just use a really light mint macaron light. Let me see how light that is. That would work. I think that'll be all right. We'll do mint macaron light to do the leaves. That looks really pretty with that silver foil, don't you think? Let me know what you think. And throw it in the comments. Whatever, just let me know. I think that looks really pretty with that. And I do think I am going to use this as either a wedding or an anniversary card. So I am just going to adhere this down. To that Whisper White card base. And now it would be pretty if you did some petal pink or mint macaron in the background, but we're going with what we have right now. Maybe we'll do a stripe of mint macaron. Let's grab some mint macaron and let's see what we've got. Maybe just a stripe down the center. I don't know, maybe a little skinnier stripe. So let's grab that paper trimmer again, and we'll just make it a little bit thinner, because right now it's a 1-inch strip. So maybe let's make it 3/4. And then we want it to be the whole length of the card. So we need to make it 5.5, which I guess I can see that over here pretty good. 5.5 is right along this line, which is a pretty easy one to see. And 5 is just past this line, but 5 is easier to see when you're up here at the top, at least for me anyway. So let's see what 3/4 looks like. I like that. I like that with the 3/4 inch strip. So let's just put a strip of snail adhesive down the entire center of that. Got a little bit of adhesive on my paper there. Just going to center it as best we can, have it go across the entire card. And then for our flowers, we're going to use dimensionals for those. And I've got lots of little pieces here that we can use up. Now you can see that using the alcohol markers, those bleed through. So you've got to be careful if If you're coloring it and it's laying on your card base, you may end up with color where you don't want it. Now, it didn't bleed through horribly on this paper, so, I mean, it's not bad, but, I mean, just so you know, it does have that tendency to bleed through. So, take all the backings off this, and we will get that on, and then we're going to stamp congratulations. And I do think we might use something different than the Rococo Rose. I'm trying to think what I would want to use for congratulations for this. I don't necessarily want to go with the mint macaron. I couldn't think of the name. I had to flip that over to look at it. But we could. All right. And I want to do congratulations or celebrate. Maybe celebrate. That would be cute to do celebrate. Let me see. Let me find the stamp set there and see. Well, I actually kind of like the font that congratulations is. So we're going to use congratulations. We just need to grab a block for it. And you know what? Let's use mint macaron. I think that will look cute. After I thought about it, I'm like, it'll kind of look nice because it'll kind of give that little bit of I'm going to flip it around this way so I can see it better. We're going to use this one that has the double-ended banner. And the G is going to come off just a little bit at the bottom. Not enough that you can't tell that it says congratulations, but it does come off just a little bit. But I think that'll be all right. I'm going to put a tiny bit of snail adhesive right here on this end because it's going to stick to that leaf. And then we're going to do just a couple of pieces of these dimensionals here. So we'll have that dimension. And there's an alternative for using the stamp set that comes in your February paper pumpkin. Isn't that pretty? I kind of like that. Kind of like that. And now obviously you could do something with a single flower as well. I cut some of those out. Maybe we'll use those in a minute. I also, from the Happy Birthday to You stamp set that coordinates with this, and there are dies that you can now order. So you can get this free, and then you can get the dies. I stamped the cake, and then I also cut out with the champagne foil the cake stand. Now it's got all these little tiny dots that need to poke out, and only one of them came out, so I'm just going to quickly use my Take Your Pick tool to poke those out. Some of them don't want to come out. They are super tiny. You definitely wouldn't want to use them as they're almost as tiny as glitter. They're really tiny. Look how tiny those are. But you wouldn't want to use them as confetti because you would never get it out of your floor. That's for sure. It would never come up. So now, if you take this just like this and set it over, you can see the other cake stand. So all I do is I just cut that cake stand base off. Get rid of it. Just cut it off. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the leaves. I'm going to use the Mint Macaron Light for the leaves on this cake. And now the beautiful thing about those dies is you can stamp this again if you want to and cut those flowers out and put them back on, you know, add them to the front of this so there's some dimension to them. And I have a card, I'll show you that in just a moment. But let's just go with the Mint Macaron and let's choose a color. Let me see what color I used. I think I used Pool Party for my card the other day. Yes, here's what I did the other day. I used Pool Party and Mint Macaron. So let's do something different. Let's pick a different color. Let me see. Don't want to go with a blue. Let's go with a pink. Let's go with maybe a pink or a red. Lovely lipstick, or maybe we could actually just go with Rococo Rose since that's what came in the stamp set. So let's just go with Rococo Rose. So we're gonna start with dark, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of outlining with that Rococo Rose dark. If you haven't colored with these blends, I absolutely recommend you try them. If you are in the market and you do not have a demonstrator, I would 100% appreciate you heading over to my store to purchase supplies. I am super close to a sales goal this month, and it's getting close to the end of the month, so I'm hoping I will make that sales goal. I try to set goals for myself. I don't tell anyone what those goals, you know, like what the specific sales goal amount is that I'm trying to make, or if I'm trying to add people to my team, which is always something I would like to do because I like people to get this discount. I love that you can join and get this discount. You can just be a hobby demonstrator, order for yourself. You don't have to sell, but you can still take advantage of that discount for your crafting and card making supplies that we sell. Scrapbooking, whatever you want to, whatever you're doing with your paper crafting products. All right, so just outline those, and then I'm gonna go ahead and color in all these little buds with this dark color as well. And I did the center of the flower too, which I know is a little odd, but that's what I did. And we're gonna go with it, and we're gonna leave it just like that. So then use your light and kind of blend those together. And because I didn't use a lot of the dark, it's not going to look super blended by any means, but this color is just simply gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorite in colors that we have right now, is this Rococo Rose. Look how pretty is that? And then just use a little bit of multi-purpose glue to glue your cake stand on. So you just do a little strip. Just lay your cake stand on there. Let it set for a minute. You don't have to put a block on it. It will glue pretty good all on its own. But you could set a block on it if you want to hold it there, but I don't think we're going to need to. And then let's get a card base. I think I will do, maybe we'll do a Rococo Rose card base, which I don't have one cut, so I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. Get my inks out of the way so I don't stick my finger in them. And then I am just going to, I like to score the paper first because that way I can cut 2 card bases at once. So I'm gonna score it at 4 1/4, and now on your Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, this lighter blade is your scoring blade. So just score it. That just gives it that little embossed line in it. And then we want, this would be 5 1/2. So we're just gonna cut it with that cutting blade, which is the darker blade. And now I have 2, so I can use this one for another card later. Now, if I needed to use this piece of cardstock for something else, then I would cut it first and then score it. But I don't need, need that piece for anything right now. So I figured, you know what, might as well just go ahead and do 2. Now we could add something for our background. Let's get this folded first. Let's see if there's something that I think would be, if one of these would be pretty or if they would be too much. I think that's a little too much with the flowers on the cake. So you know what? Let's just take this, maybe the cake slice, maybe the flowers. Let's try the flowers first. Let's clean this off. And now if you've never used Versamark to make a background, this is a fun technique. So you just take your Versamark, which is just a clear ink, and we're going to take those flowers from that stamp set, and we are just going to stamp them randomly onto this card. And see how once that Versamark comes through. It's just a little bit darker. Then that Rococo Rose. It just pulls that color out just a little bit. And that makes a really cute background, I think. I'm just gonna add a little stem right there. Why not? Just to fill in that little spot a little bit. And then just again, just use that chamois to clean that Versamark off. It works perfectly. And now we could add this just on here like this. Or, let me see, I do love me some vellum. We could add a little piece of vellum. Let me grab a punch. Now I'm gonna walk away and you're not gonna be able to hear me, so give me just a second. And I've got this Starburst punch. This is one of my favorite punches. So let's see what we can get if we do a Starburst punch, if it's gonna, what it's gonna look like coming out from behind that cake. Oh, that kind of looks cute actually. So then we will use another one of those banners because we have some extra banners left over from that kit. And we do have birthday here. We do have this celebrate that we could use as well. So maybe we could just use celebrate. Maybe we don't even need to stamp anything. We will just use this extra celebrate. And because I want this to kind of go over top of that, I'm just gonna adhere all of these flat. So this little vellum Starburst, I know that's, you can see that adhesive through that, but that cake is going to cover it. So you don't even have to worry about that. Just add some adhesive to the back of this cake stand and the cake. And now you could use Tombow glue, would work perfect for this as well. I just like the ease of using the snail adhesive. Peel the backing off from Celebrate, and then I think we're going to add some of those sequins on here because I think that would be really pretty. So then we've got Celebrate. Now we'll get a piece of Whisper white cardstock for the inside of the card. We're going to get that Rococo Rose ink out again, and because we use this as a background, let's go ahead and put that on the inside of the card as well. So that'll be for the inside of the card. Go ahead and put your adhesive on the back of that. We'll get this on the inside, and then we will add some sequins to the front. And we will be done with this for today, I think. I'm going to show you my other alternative cards that I made. And I would love it if you would, in the comments, show me some of the alternative cards that you've made with this kit, because I always like seeing other people's ideas. I think it's fantastic when everybody collaborates and shares their ideas, because then it gives everyone else inspiration and gives you an idea. Like, you might not do the entire, you know, idea that someone else has done, but it's nice to just have some extra inspiration. I've got a couple stuck on here. I can feel there's two there. There we go, dump that one off. There, perfect. So that's a cute little simple birthday card. I love that. And then we have a congratulations card that you could use for a wedding. Then for the original cards that we did that were in the kit would be the Lovely Day, the Celebrate, and the Birthday Wishes. All right, and then I will show you the 3 cards that I did the other day that were just a little bit different. So I made this, Have a Lovely Birthday. I did, look here, I'm going all over the place trying to find them. I did Birthday Wishes. And then I did this one, but I took this piece and I just cut it apart. Instead of using the folded piece, I just cut the pieces out from it and then made this one that says Celebrate. So I will post photos of these so you all can, you know, see photos of the cards. So, because obviously they're all on top of each other right now. But thank you for joining me. I truly appreciate it. I live and love to inspire you, and you are more than welcome to head over to my store at valeriesmith.stampinup.net. Purchase any supplies that you need. Hopefully these refills and will become available for this kit. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Bye.